Exeter too good for Northampton, 38 points to 15. The scoreline looks pretty one-sided. I guess it's good they didn't get 40 because that would have looked worse. But I feel like from watching this game just now, much delayed from the actual broadcast, it's been watched in the middle of the day here in New Zealand after all these guys have probably hit the sack. Yeah, man, Northampton gave it a good shot and had a fair bit of ball. But in the end, I guess Exeter's defence is a bit of a wall for most of the game. And when they were able to break through, they made Northampton's defence kind of creaky at times. But I'll go through some of the key moments, the key stats. And as always, you guys can let me know your thoughts as well. To be fair, I thought Saints put the pressure on early. Exeter's line-out was struggling early. And to be fair, it would struggle throughout the game. It was by no means an efficient set piece. Noel got caught in goal early, and the first scrum to Northampton, which was going to be a big test with that guy Jogan, 19-year-old, up against that massive Exeter pack. It looked to be under a fair bit of pressure, but they got the ball out on their own feet. And on 6 minutes, they even won a penalty to make it 3-0. So Northampton were in the lead early. It wouldn't last, but for about that first 10 minutes, I think Northampton had about 80% of the possession. So they were bossing the game early. Second scrum holds. Biggest kick, though, as they're trying to kind of get the Exeter guys to turn around, goes out on the full. So a little bit of pressure off from Northampton making their own mistakes. Laws on 15 minutes kills Exeter's maul. And I would say over the course of this game, Exeter's maul and scrum weren't really able to be dominant. It was kind of more the broken play stuff that was able to get them forward in this one. I must say, though, after that Laws killing the maul, Exeter scrum from that next phase does power over to get a tight head. They win the ball and then just suddenly attack when the Northampton guys were expecting to be clearing. They're suddenly having to defend. And Maunda just goes over for a try. It was Slade with the line break. And far, far too easy. A couple of these tries for Exeter, well, they made them look easy anyway. 7 points to 3. They did check the grounding. And they ruled that it was all good. On 24 minutes, Exeter go through a bunch of phases. They got advantage. They decided to take a tap. I mean, you guys who watch Exeter will have to let me know more. I would have thought if you're like 5 meters out, you got a 19-year-old prop on the other side, you just call for a scrum and try to push them over. But they decided to tap and go through the phases. Didn't make a difference because they got a try through Jacques Vermeulen anyway. But it was just, I was wondering, is this a normal thing for Exeter? Are they trying to go easy on this 19-year-old guy, Jogan, or I don't know. You guys will have to let me know. Tap and go is not something that you see that much of, at least maybe Exeter do it. Yeah, anyway, not at like the 24th minute anyway. Northampton had a chance. They were trying to grind up. There was a maul of about 12 or 13 players. Like Northampton's virtually their whole team was in as they were trying to break through that defence, which was Exeter. Eventually, they do get rewarded as Tamana Harrison gets a try from a maul. It's a separate maul, but and a great conversion from Dan Bigger. So, half-time, it's 14 points to 10. 14-10 is close, man, and pretty good value for Northampton. To be fair, in that first 10 minutes, the fact they only scored 3 points, they'll maybe be a bit disappointed, because they had a bunch of pressure on. But as I said, Exeter's defence is very tight. Start of the second half, though, and it's another one of these tries that Northampton will be looking back and just going, that was way too easy. Like the one from Slade to set up Maunda, it was just cutting run. Same with Jack Noel, man. Absolute bit of individual brilliance. He beats about 4 tacklers. The first 2 guys he beats with his power, and the next 2 guys he beats with his silky footwork. Suddenly it's 21-10, and the game's looking like a far effort for Northampton to get back, because 14-10's game on, but 21-10 it's looking tough. 44 minutes, another Northampton maul, and it's repelled. And they're also pretty good at shutting down Exeter's maul, so to be fair, neither side was... Like, they did get some pay from it, but a lot of the time the defence was able to kind of get on top. 53 minutes, though. 54, Hill gets a try. This one is again after a maul has been sacked, but a few phases later, it's just too hard to keep the Exeter guys out, and it's all from like O'Flaherty not wanting to take a line out. I guess with Exeter's line out being the way it was, maybe he just threw it in quickly. Hog counter attacks. They put a kick through, and then they force a penalty for was it Furbank not releasing. And then that's what wins the penalty that puts them in the position to set the maul. The maul is sacked, and then they get the try. So it's the backs that kind of fed the forwards in the scheme of things. I'm not sure if the highlights packages will show kind of that far back, but that's how it was happening. So yeah, they missed the conversion. It's 28-15. 60 minutes, Exeter take a penalty, which is, I guess, a symbol of how serious they're taking the game, because previously they'd not really been going for the sticks. 31-15. 61 minutes, I made a special note of it. Northampton won a scrum penalty. It must be said that was against Francis, because Exeter had changed their whole front row. And they try for a maul, 5 meters. They kick the ball for touch. They try for a maul, 5 meters out, but they get turned over. It's just brutal stuff, man. The mauls, often getting held up. On 65 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, Dan Bigger, who just suffered a high tackle, gets told off for his mouth at the ref. He's attracting a bit of attention for that kind of stuff in recent years. 68 minutes, Exeter get warned for conceding too many penalties. And just as Northampton have a chance to strike, they mess up their own line out. So they take the foot off the gas again. Then Nairavoro doubles down because he's just come on. He gets the high ball kicked to him. He drops it, but it goes backwards at least. So he's got a chance to recover it. But as much as a human can look like a fish which has just been pulled out of water and flopping around on the deck of a boat, that's what Nairavoro looked like on the ground, trying to get the ball, and he knocks it on. Horrendous. He'll have nightmares about that one. It was just an absolute doubling down they did not need. 71 minutes, Northampton do win another scrum penalty, but the next one goes the other way, so it kind of evens itself out, and that's after Yogan goes off. 76 minutes, another piece of individual brilliance that really lets Northampton down, but shows you just how dangerous all of the Exeter guys are, not just the backs. But it's Vermeulen again. He's just individual brilliance on Knowles' level as well. He just busts through the first couple of tacklers with pure strength, and then he also changes his running line to make himself very hard to bring down, and he goes over for a try. Canters over in the end, so 38-15. That's how it finishes. If I'm Northampton, I look back at this and go, man, times we conceded the ball without just our own errors, without having to, it wasn't forced penalties. The Knoll try, to a lesser extent the Morton try, the Vermeulen second try. Yeah, there's a few ones which is just guys not making their tackles, but as I said, Exeter, man, it's just what they can do to you from 1 to 15. They've got just game breakers all around. So final stats, possession was 41%, Exeter 59, Northampton. So they had some pill. They had 66% territory, did Northampton, so they had the territory. But you look at the run meters, 339 to 191, and that's in Exeter's favour. They had less ball, less territory, but boy, did they run the pill. So they got guys just like cutting things up. Knock-ons, 5 by Northampton, only 1 by Exeter. This is kind of what I'm talking about. Turnovers conceded, which includes the knock-ons. 4 by Exeter, 14 by Northampton. So just not able to breach the defence or kind of costly with their own errors. That being said, Northampton's line-out was 88%. Exeter was a pretty poor 71%, so that's an area for improvement. Tackling, though, Exeter 89%, which is top class. We've seen a few games in the 90s this Champions Cup weekend, but 89% is by no means poor. It's pretty solid. Northampton 79%. It's more like what I would see in Super Rugby. So not the best effort. They made 97 tackles to Exeter's 151. Sometimes they are just like a brick wall. Penalties conceded 14 to 10, which was Exeter conceding a few more, but generally the side without the pill concedes more penalties. Individual stats, Vermeulen had 53 run meters, 5 defenders beaten, and 2 clean breaks. Remember, he's a loose forward. He's not a centre or a winger. Knoll had 6 defenders beaten as well. Dingwall, did I mention his try? I must have skipped over that one. Dingwall's try came out of nowhere, and I guess that's why I've skipped that. There was a line out, and he just absolutely cut straight through. Absolute bit of gloriousness. Like, I think the Dingwall try, the Knoll try, and the Vermeulen try are definitely worth a watch if you haven't seen the highlights. absolutely glorious little play from Northampton. I can't believe I missed that one. Yeah, because I'm kind of working at the same time. I was on this computer, and next minute they scored a try. It was phenomenal stuff. He had to beat a couple of tackles. They missed the conversion though, which was unfortunate. But yeah, Jogan as well, like I mentioned, the 19-year-old made 7 out of 8 tackles, and in the scrum can definitely hold his head pretty high for all the pressure he was under. But yeah, so Exeter got a date with Toulouse next week. That'll be a massive game. Remember, Toulouse have only played a couple of games, maybe 3 now with that Champions Cup game, so maybe that's one advantage Exeter got. They're at home. I don't feel like Exeter or Toulouse ever got out of kind of like 3rd or 4th gear for their games. They had moments of brilliance, like Cheslin Colby for Toulouse, like Vermeulen and Knoll for Exeter, and they had good periods of play, but they weren't kind of an 80-minute complete team. So yeah, it'll be an interesting one to watch to see how these teams go up against it in the semi-final. But yeah, congratulations to Exeter. Congratulations also to Northampton, man. It's a better game than what the scoreboard maybe shows. They were predicted to kind of get a 20-plus point hiding. So I guess they kind of did, but it didn't feel like it. So if that makes any sense. Yeah, they'll be disappointed with some of their own kind of key failures at key times, which really let Exeter off the hook. But then that being said, Exeter makes you make mistakes with some of their defense. Anyway, I better get back to work. You guys let me know your thoughts on this game, key moments, key players and whatnot. And yeah, I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.